Hello! Welcome to our Facebook Live of Thursday. Today's September 3rd, and we are going to have some fun with this today because fitness is one of my passions, and I was a personal trainer before I became a PT, and so integrating all this fitness stuff into a physical therapy treatment and being able to empower women to get stronger and work on their fitness level, no matter what their goals are, because there's always something to gain from doing different types of workouts. So I'm going to talk about the three most common exercises that women are doing wrong. And I love to bring this up because I think on a daily basis we correct this over and over again. And it could be an exercise that maybe you've been doing for years and you feel like you are doing it right. And maybe you'll just learn a few tweaks, or it could be something you're completely doing wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. It just needs to be adjusted and corrected. So welcome to our women's health group. We have videos like this every week, and we give an expert panel. So it may be myself, Dr. Dawn, or Dr. Lindsay, or Deb, our amazing Pilates instructors. So we love to educate you ladies. And if you want to know more, we have even more through our email list. So that way we send you lots of free goodies, info, and you stay up to date with what we're doing here in our office and also the things that we're doing online as well. So tag yourself below, put a little fitness emoji or a little smiley face, whatever you want, if you want more info from us, so we can be able to reach out to you and get your info. So today we're going to talk about the top 3 fitness moves women are doing wrong. And if you are watching, thanks for joining. We love educating women in this group. So the first one that we're going to talk about is a push-up. And push-ups can be done at different levels. So many women have a hard time doing push-ups. And that goes into play. It's not just shoulder strength. I tell women all the time, tell our clients that it's not just how strong your shoulders are, because a lot of women do say their arms feel weak, their shoulders aren't strong enough to do a full push-up and do it correctly with their legs out straight. So there are modifications. One of my pet peeves is always going to your knees for a push-up. So if you really want to get stronger, it is about core strength. It's about a little bit of everything through your trunk and then also your shoulders. But I always start women off with doing a proper push-up. Can you do it correctly from an elevated surface? So I'm going to demonstrate here from a table some of the corrections that I give my clients and how to be able to correct it. So a push-up can actually be very effective for a core strengthening exercise, a back strengthening, and shoulders as well. But you want to do it properly, and maybe you have to modify your position a little bit until you build it up and be able to do a proper one on the floor with your legs out straight. And so a lot of women that are doing the full push-ups, they could be sinking from their back. They could be not having their arms in the right placement, which actually is going to hurt your shoulders after a while. And you want to integrate that core strength into it, or else it's not going to be able to benefit you as well as it could if you were doing a proper push-up. So I'm going to show you from an elevated surface. So from here, what I teach my clients is wherever you're at, pretend like you're screwing your hands into the table, into the floor. And what that does, if you kind of visualize and imagine that position, I'm going to move back a little bit. You're screwing your arms into the table, and therefore I just set my shoulders down and back. And I'm able to put my shoulders in a better position to get more strength from them. So if you're up here, or you're not thinking about that and really depressing your shoulders down, you're going to get it into your neck, and it's probably going to irritate your rotator cuff tendon in the front. So that's where I would start. And then next, a lot of women kind of sink their back. So it is a core exercise. In doing so, you're going to pull the ribs in just a little bit. So think of zipping those ribs together, screwing the shoulders kind of out if you were screwing them into the ground or into the table. And you're going to squeeze your glutes underneath you. So you're using a lot of muscle groups all together. So when I go down and up, you shouldn't turn your head either. I'm just doing this because the camera. Your body is moving all together. You're not looking like a snake when you come up and down. That would be bad. So squeeze the glutes and pull the ribs down slightly and screw the shoulders into the ground or into the table. And you're gonna get good at doing that there. If you can do 10 good ones there, then I would take them down a little bit lower. And that's where I take them toward the floor. So I just go maybe on a stairway or on a lower box, but I start with something kind of high. Can they get that correctly? And then take it lower. Also, for our women's health clients, because a lot of them are working on abdominal strength, pelvic floor issues, I cue the breathing. So every time you do the work and you're pushing out, away, that's when you're gonna exhale. So I inhale as I go down, breathe out and exhale, and you draw on those muscles as you do the work and push out. So that is a really good push-up. That's a proper push-up. Next is a squat. And squat sounds pretty basic. We all do it, getting up and down from a chair, getting up and down from a toilet. But if you're doing squats with weight, or you're doing air squats with just body weight, a lot of women tend to find that their knees start bugging them. Well, can you practice from a chair first? So in doing so, you're gonna watch my knees. I'm gonna crease from my hips. So I'm bending from my hips and I'm getting my butt way back. So if you pretend like your tailbone is moving backward, like you're gonna sit back in that chair and then come back up. And a lot of times we will just practice this from a box or a chair. So then that way you can get that form down and you're just creasing from the hip joint, okay? The wrong way we see people do it is using too much of their thighs in the front and quads in the front. And for CrossFitters, for people that lift a lot of weights, we call this quadzilla. They end up getting huge quads. Why? Because they're lifting a lot of weight, but they're over dominant in their quads. They're not using their glutes, their hamstrings, everything in the backside. So that's why we train even against a wall. There's a couple of tricks you can do, or just putting a box or a chair behind you, holding the weight in front, and being able to get that squat properly, activating your hips rather than using your knees. So if you're not able to do that correctly and come back up from 90 degrees, then I would not go further down than that. I'd get it really well in that position first before you progress it or add more weight to it. Also, if you have tight ankles or tight hips, it can be also really hard to do a proper squat. So good to get checked out by someone like ourselves, PTs, and we can address that for you so you can squat better and not hurt your knees or your back. Now, the last one I love to talk about is a plank, and very overused type of exercise, but it's integrated a lot in fitness workouts. So before you make a plank even more difficult with lifting a leg or doing a rotation, anything like that with a plank, you want to make sure that your plank is actually able to be held properly for like 30 seconds or a minute. And what does properly mean? Well, we see so many people do planks wrong, especially if, I'm just gonna move this out of the way, they are kind of dropping and sinking the butt down or sinking their back. So just like the push-up, you really want to engage through the ribs, knit the ribs together. Think of keeping your body nice and straight and tucking your glutes underneath you. I was a gymnast, and back in gymnastics days, this was called doing like a hollow belly or hollow hold. And so you're creating that tension through your trunk muscles and being able to use your core properly, but you still want to breathe. You don't want to hold in so tight that you can't breathe. So I'm going to show out here. So in this position, I'm not going to be here. I'm going to, once again, think of screwing your arms into the floor or your elbows, getting away from the floor, tucking your glutes underneath you, breathing, and pulling the ribs in. Can you hold that position? It's a lot of shoulder strength. It's a lot of core strength there. And can you hold that before you do any other kind of harder plank version with lifting a leg or knee to chest. You want to be able to hold that really well with your legs straight. Makes sense? There's so many others that we could show you, but I really find those three are probably the most common that women do wrong. So the plank, the squat, and the push-up. If you learned something, give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. We have so much more to talk about with different women's health topics, and this week is all about fitness. So we just wanted to shed some light on something that we see all the time. We teach people all the time, so you might as well hear it right here. So once again, if you want to be part of our email list, we've got lots of fun stuff that we send you, and then you can be in the know about what's going on here and how we can help you. Put an emoji below and we'll send you more info. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next Thursday. We're going to be doing these at 1 o'clock. Have a good day.